Phase 4 is all about balance, but balance is not just coordination. It is one of the best predictors of longevity. Lose it, and you can lose confidence, reaction speed, and independence. But don't worry, there's ways to train it. Balance comes from 3 systems: your body's eyes, ears, and your body's joint sensors. Your eyes give you visual reference, your inner ear senses motion and orientation, and your joints and muscles tell your brain where your body is in space. As we age, each of these systems slows down, so even strong people can start to feel a little off. Your vestibular system lives deep within your inner ear. It's your body's gyroscope. It detects how your head moves and tells your brain which way is up. When the system weakens, your brain gets delayed information, and that split-second delay is what makes balance feel shaky or slow. To cover them quickly, the first is the semicircular canal. It detects head rotation, turning, nodding, tilting. Each canal is filled with fluid. When your head moves, that fluid shifts and bends hair cells that send motion info to the brain. Think of these like your body's motion sensor. They tell your brain which way you're turning. Then we have the otolith organs. They detect gravity and linear acceleration, like leaning, going up or down, or forward or back. They work with tiny crystals. Inside, they move when the head tilts or accelerates, signaling up, down, or lean. Third, we have the vestibular nerve. Transmits info from the inner ear, the canals, the otoliths, to the brain. Think of this like the data cable connecting sensors to your central processor. Finally, we have the cerebellum. It integrates balance input with vision and body feedback, posture, coordination, fine motor control. Think of it as it takes the info from the ears, eyes, and joints to adjust your movement in real time. There are 2 ways that we're going to train balance. One with the joints locked out, all stacked up. One with that knee bent and hip in slight flexion. And here's how we'll progress it safely: static, dynamic, and then reactive. All right, and these are some of our static movements. Our dynamic movements with a simple reach and a small head turn. And then our reactive elements with a small step to balance, a ball toss with catch, and then we'll also get a little Bosu pad balance, and then a step balance and a reach. All right, now that we have the background information, let's run the assessment. Let's see where your balance actually stacks up. Testing is simple. We'll do eyes open, eyes closed. Make sure you do both legs. If you take a big jump or your foot comes off the ground, we end the test. And this is where we see where you'll stack up. Obviously, you want to check both legs. Each leg might be a little bit different. This first one is eyes open, and then this is going to be our eyes closed standards. If you're below your age range, that just means your coordination system needs a tune-up, and here's how to start rebuilding it. So your score tells you how your systems are working together, but your age determines what's safe and effective to start with. A 25-year-old in the average range will train differently than a 75-year-old in that same level. Here's how to match your training to both your results and your age. Our reports here will initially start with 4 exercises, some support stance for some assistance, some weight shifts to cycle back and forth, some sit to stand, balancing at the top, working on that transition, and some assisted split stance to work that unilateral strength. All right, and then our average tier will start with another static, but this time wall-supported single leg, not using the wall unless you have to. And then we'll get a little more dynamic. We'll get into some single arm reaches. We'll slowly transition that into our gentle head turns. And then finally, we'll finish up with a little heel-toe stance to wrap up this section. Now make sure as you're working through these, you're remembering to grip the ground with your feet, big toe, little toe, and heel. All right, and then jumping into our good tier, you'll see we're starting right away with some dynamic movements, getting started with the head turns. Then we'll dive into some controlled reaches here with the feet, stepping forward, stepping to the side, and stepping back. Make sure we're just tapping and then moving back to the start. We'll do a little step to balance, very functional, where we step, hold that balance, and then we'll finish with a Bosu or foam pad hold, starting to get into those reactive movements. And then finally, our excellent tier, jumping right into those reactive movements, ball, throw, and catch. Obviously, get a little more sensory there with the vision. Do a small hop to stick. Make sure we're going off the same foot. We'll do an eyes closed hold here, get that vestibular system going, obviously taking away our eyesight, making it a little bit more challenging. And then a multi-direction step and stick. So jumping forward, jumping laterally, and then jumping at an angle. Obviously, our most advanced. Now, again, these aren't all encompassing. These are the exercises I chose. We can mix in different exercises, but this should give you a good idea of where to start. Test yourself today. Drop your time that you get per leg and your age in the comments. Don't just build strength, build control. Balance is what's going to keep you moving for life. Thank you for watching. Make sure you check out phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, all uploaded. Never settle with yesterday. Have a good one.